Don't forget to subscribe!
Welcome back to the Lifelights. I am the archaeologist Nico Robin with my partner Sarasa. Hello everyone. In this video we will explain what happened to Nintendo of America from Melee, Splatoon, Etika, and music not being on Spotify. This is not a bad message, this is our voice being heard on how they won't be the next EA. According to Screen Rant, Nintendo continues to frustrate its loyal fan base with its moves against the competitive scenes of its two most popular titles. Super Smash Bros. Melee and Splatoon 2 have continued to thrive as two of Nintendo's staples within the competitive gaming sphere. Splatoon 2 has remained Nintendo's foremost shooter since its launch on the Nintendo Switch, following from the success of the original title on the Wii U. Super Smash Bros., likewise, has proven to be among Nintendo's most successful franchises with very new release. As both series grow, it becomes clear they grow in spite of Nintendo's involvement beyond their creation. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate continues to do well, releasing a second set of downloadable content scheduled through the remainder of the year and into 2021 to further round out its already impressive roster of characters across many video game franchises. However, the competitive Smash community continues to revisit the GameCube title and consider it the pinnacle of the franchise. Splatoon 2, despite its sales numbers and online player base, no longer receives updates after its final update in 2019, and both titles thrive to this day. And yet, Nintendo's recent actions seem to run counter to the proliferation of the scenes. The success of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate continues to impress, but the game's netcode remains one of its biggest failings, and prior to this year, the failing of the netcode proved to be an annoyance that kept players from playing with one another over long distances. As COVID-19 sweeps through the globe, the netcode's horrendous performance has now become a deterrent for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's competitive future as online tournaments prove to be a struggle to maintain. The Smash Bros. Melee community, however, was able to use Project Slippy, a fork from the Dolphin emulator, to play online with a stable rollback netcode connection, and this extended to an unofficial basis. And when an official tournament showed their support, Nintendo had other plans, however. The Big House originated as a Midwest regional tournament for Smash Bros. Before evolving into one of the largest individual tournaments of the franchise. And the Big House continued on a yearly basis until COVID-19 forced the tournament to pivot from its fall schedule in 2020. As Project Slippy was underway from 2018, 2020 represented a massive advancement in the program as it received an update for rollback netcode and matchmaking. And this update proved instrumental in allowing Melee to thrive in an area where players could not gather together to play in person, as the program allowed players to connect via the Dolphin emulator. Taking advantage of the opportunity, the Big House announced their annual tournament online after its initial cancellation. Slippy.gg would be used to facilitate the online play of Super Smash Bros. Melee, allowing it to headline the tournament, while Smash Bros. Ultimate also followed the suit. And following this confirmation, Nintendo issued a cease and desist order to the Big House, forcing the tournament organizers to cancel the entire event, primarily due to the usage of Slippy. And the news rocked the Smash community, leaving them without their biggest annual event, with no recourse for Melee events going forward. And so Nintendo issued its cease and desist on the Big House on the grounds that their method of playing Super Smash Bros. Melee involved the use of illegally copied versions of the game, alongside the usage of Slippy, calling it a mod for Smash Bros. Melee. Slippy, however, is not a mod for the game itself, but is rather a project for it that runs off the Dolphin emulator. Emulation and of itself was also not an illegal act, with players citing their own usage of their own purchased copies of the title. And with the cancellation of the event, Nintendo's damage to the competitive Melee scene is only exacerbated by the ongoing circumstances around the world. Just Fizzy Lafayette, one of the creators of Project Slippy, expressed disappointment at Nintendo's actions and how Nintendo was restricting the Melee community's ability to power through these hard times. Super Smash Bros. Melee has not been sold on an official basis since 2007 when the GameCube was discontinued, meaning that Nintendo makes no money from Melee as a product. Further, the issue. Current restrictions regarding large gatherings due to this COVID-19 make it impossible to hold large in-person tournaments, and with the online tournaments preventing a workaround, Nintendo shut down at the Big House for its use of legal emulation to play Super Smash Bros. Melee online to keep the scene going despite the global pandemic only serves damage to the longevity of a long-running loyal scene that can no longer play their game in an official full capacity. If that wasn't bad enough, the news of Nintendo's cancellation of the Big House left shockwaves within Nintendo's own circles. As hashtag Free Melee began to trend on Twitter, the Splatoon community took notice of the situation, and gearing up for the Splatoon 2 North American Open in December 2020, several of the top teams agreed to change their names in a show of support and solidarity for the hashtag, and the day before what could have been the finals of the event, Nintendo would cancel their official live stream of the tournament finals, citing executional challenges. However, Slimy Quagsire, a tournament organizer for Splatoon 2, stated that the reasoning lay squarely on the Splatoon's community support of Free Melee. Alongside the resurgence of Free Melee, the communities began to push the hashtag /FreeSplatoon, showcasing a solidarity across both competitive bubbles in response to Nintendo's actions. To counter the cancellation of the Splatoon 2 North American Open December 2020 finals, Endgame TV went to hold on a grassroots invitational. The top 4 North American Splatoon 2 teams, with the tournament named the Squid House, in honor of the solidarity between Splatoon and Melee communities and in reference to the cancellation of the Big House. And this event was held independently from Nintendo's involvement, with all 4 teams renaming themselves in the support of the hashtag Free Melee movement. And this event proved to be one of the biggest successes in Splatoon 2's competitive history, showcasing the power of the community in getting the event together overnight as donors poured in for a USD $25,000 prize pool and a $3,000 for charity. As Nintendo continues to take drastic measures in enforcing its control, it continues to only provide a disservice to the fans and communities, keeping their titles alive. As Super Smash Bros. Melee finds itself unplayable to be played in official tournaments, the fear that the Melee community will lose steam is a real concern. And canceling the live stream of an official Splatoon tournament, showing their support to hashtag Free Melee, sets to a dangerous precedent, as voicing support of one of Nintendo's most loyal communities has led to Nintendo canceling its own event. And as Nintendo continues to make unpopular decisions, it serves as a strange cap off for 2020 that is one of gaming's most family-friendly companies would spite its fan base and communities, with the potential of repercussions of permanently hindering the advancement of the Super Smash Bros. Melee community. What was even worse was Etika's suicide, and it caused a lot of spark and outrage in the Smash community. And what's even worse is that Spotify does not even want to have Nintendo's background music on its service. It's just real sad.